Welcome to the second episode in a Legendarium series about the history of astrology. In Part 2, Imperial Destinies, we will talk about how astrology came to the Roman Empire and played a role in the events described in the New Testament. In the first episode, we talked about how astrology originated in Babylonia and then gradually spread to Greece and Ptolemaic Egypt. Greece, Egypt, and Mesopotamia were all conquered by the Roman Empire around the 1st century AD. The Romans turned the Mediterranean Sea into a free trade zone in which goods, ideas, and religions could freely move from one place to another. And of course, astrology made its way into Rome. Unlike the Greeks, the Romans embraced astrology wholeheartedly. This likely stems from the fact that Roman religion, which centered on rigorous observance of rituals, readily adapted to the new science of astrology. Symbols for the 12 houses of the zodiac fit easily upon bracelets and amulets, which gave inexpensive protection against evil fate to the wearer. Animal sacrifice could do the same thing, but it was much more expensive and much bloodier. Roman astrology grew more sophisticated as more people entered the science. Roman astrologers even gave the stars and the 7 known planets distinct personalities, their favorite color, plant, and even animal. For example, Roman astrologers described Saturn's favorite animal as the donkey and its favorite plant as the onion. The rich and powerful sought out astrologers to chart out their futures. Some new parents even had the horoscopes of their newborn children drawn up in the delivery room. Unfortunately, this new fame and fortune relied upon the goodwill of the people, especially the powerful, which is always fickle. Any real or imagined crisis, such as a shower of comets or the birth of triplets, could set off an anti-astrologer panic. In 11 AD, Emperor Augustus grew so fearful about someone using his horoscope against him that he banned anyone but him from possessing the imperial horoscope on pain of death. Augustus's successor, Tiberius, had an infamous test for those who wished to become his astrologer. If they failed to read his star chart, he simply threw them off a cliff. In time, a trembling astrologer named Thrasyclus went before Tiberius. Upon looking at the emperor's chart, Thrasyclus declared that he was in imminent danger of death by being thrown off a cliff. Tiberius, apparently impressed, hired Thrasyclus on the spot, and he remained imperial astrologer until Tiberius's death in AD 37. Thrasyclus fared much better than some of his successors. In 52 AD, an astrologer in the court of Emperor Claudius made it known that a lunar eclipse would occur on the emperor's birthday. Claudius became fearful that the astrologer peddled bad omens about him and ordered that every astrologer be banished from the city of Rome. Of course, astrology also plays a role in one of the world's most beloved stories. On the one hand, the Old Testament condemns astrology in the book of Deuteronomy as an abomination unto God. Kings 21:6 is even harsher, stating that men who dabble in astrology bring evil into the world and do nothing but anger God. Yet, Psalm 19 calls the stars a testament to the glory of God. Furthermore, archaeologists found a floor mosaic of the zodiac in a 4th century synagogue located in Roman-ruled Judea. Could astrology have been practiced in Judea despite official condemnation? It is possible that attitudes towards astrology in ancient Judaism were complicated, much as they are today. And the New Testament indicates that astrology played a role in how 3 wise men found their way to the infant Christ. According to the book of Matthew, the 3 wise men followed a bright new star to Bethlehem. It is impossible to say that they saw a supernova or a comet, for no other culture observed such an event at the time. However, in the 1600s, the famed astronomer Johann Kepler observed a confluence of Jupiter and Saturn in Pisces. Jupiter traditionally represented rulership, and some passages in the New Testament described Christ as King of the Hebrews. By Kepler's calculation, this confluence last appeared around 7 BC, around the time the 3 wise men set off in their journey. It would have appeared as a bright new star to casual observers on Earth. Could this confluence have been the Star of Bethlehem described in the New Testament? Perhaps in part because of this biblical connection, a belief in astrology survived the Roman Empire's conversion to Christianity more than 300 years after Christ's ministry. Of course, the collapse and fall of the Roman Empire dealt a terrible blow to the pursuit of human knowledge. During the early Middle Ages, interest in the stars likely did not disappear, but relatively few people wrote about them. Small wonder, since the fall of the Roman Empire and an ecological calamity triggered by the eruption of Krakatoa in the year 536 AD led Europe's population to fall by more than half. Astrology, along with many other areas of human endeavor, entered a period of dormancy that only ended centuries later. That wraps things up for this episode of The Legendarium. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, press like. If you want to see more, press subscribe. And if you've got anything to say, let me know in the comments section. Thanks again for joining me, and I hope that you have a great rest of the day.